final presenting company today is FileInvite. FileInvite helps you manage more loan applications and close them faster with automated document collection. Customer-facing teams spend extensive time following up on missing or incorrect documentation. FileInvite helps borrowers provide brokers and banks with all the information they need to close loans faster. Their intuitive system lets teams and leadership gain visibility over their document pipeline and ensures a seamless client experience. Presenting for FileInvite is Brendan Failer. Brendan, are you on?
Yes, I am.
All right, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. So there's three things that I'd like to cover off today. And that's basically around the customer experience, your experience in getting documents out of email. And so what I'm going to cover today is talking about how to close loans faster. And what are we doing to use that? FileInvite. And what is FileInvite? FileInvite is the simplest, most secure way to collect documents. Now, the way most people are collecting documents at the moment is via email. And the reason they're doing that is because that when they showed up for work on the first day of work, they had access to email and they needed some documents. And so they just sent an email off to someone. So it's almost by default rather than by design. And so I'm going to go through, as I mentioned, those three things. The first one I'm going to start off with is the customer experience. And I think that's a really important part of what FileInvite does. If you look at any modern company, when you're engaging with them, they usually have a seamless digital experience to help you through the process. So that could be anything from ordering a pizza or a coffee through to your online banking. Most customers are used to having a seamless digital experience, and that's something we're really not delivering to them when we're collecting documents via things like email. Essentially, the feeling that we want to get rid of is when you receive an email from a professional and it's got a bunch of documents attached and a whole list of things for you to do, and you get that sinking feeling. So what we'd like to do instead is send the customer a file invite. And so this is what a file invite comes to the customer looking like. We have the brand of your organization. We have some customized messaging, and they also just click to get started, and that will open up FileInvite for them. We can also have a text message sent to their cell phone so that they can open up this on their cell phone and provide things like their driver's license. Typically, that's one of the first documents that we get back from people because they've got their phone in one pocket and they've got their driver's license in the other pocket. So when a customer opens up FileInvite, the first thing they're going to see is a video which shows them how to use it. That can be useful for some customers, but for most customers, it's a fairly obvious on how to use it. I like to say we've designed this a little bit like Instagram has been designed. No one really teaches you how to use Instagram. You kind of know how to use it, and things are fairly obvious as to what they do. So for example, if I click on driver's license here, this is one of the pieces of information that we're asking the customer for. It's going to spell out to them exactly what it is that we want them to provide. And they can simply hit upload files or open the camera on their cell phone, and they can upload a document. And as you can see here, it's ticking it off for them. So very simple for the customer to use. You essentially just click on things. It will tell you exactly what it is you need to provide. You can upload those. You can attach some notes. And we like to spell out exactly what it is we're looking for and any common mistakes. So, make sure it's not expired. Can save a lot of back and forward from people if you're finding people are sending through the wrong documentation. So from a customer's point of view, this walks them through the process of providing documents to you. And we know this works really well because customers will typically get documents back through FileInvite 2 to 3 times faster than they would if you had emailed them asking for this information. So from the customer experience, this is a much nicer way for them to engage with you. They can tick things off as they go, and they don't need to write down a list of what they need to provide to you. Typically, if you're asking for this much information, customers are getting this from a number of different sources. So they might have some physical documents. They might have some saved on their computer. They might be logging into banking systems or third-party cloud-based systems to download that information. And so being able to have a portal that tracks what they're doing and being able to access that on multiple devices makes it so much easier and nicer for the customer to return this information to you. There's also a little inbuilt messaging system. So you can keep all of the engagement with them within this one portal. Now, that's sort of the customer experience. They'll go through that, they'll upload all of that information and hit I'm finished, and that will get the information to you. Now, the customer experience, while it's very important for the customer and something that hasn't been had a lot of attention paid to it for quite a while, it's also important that we get the back-end systems correct. So what I'll also do here is just run you through how we would send a file invite and what it looks like to receive that information. So here I'm going to send a file invite as myself. I can also send it on behalf of other people. So if you have some people in the back office that are processing things for other people, that can be quite useful. So I'm going to load a template. All of the invites that we sent are built off templates. We can load multiple templates in. We can load some templates in at an initial stage and then merge in additional requests at a later stage, depending on what process you're taking a customer through. So that's can be quite useful for people when they have the first meeting. They maybe collect the information from someone before they meet with them and then merge in additional requests at a later date. I'm going to send this invite to myself. I'm also going to send it to my alter ego, Big Jim, and I'm going to select a due date. So those are the three things we need when sending an invite. We need to have the template, which is this list of requests and the templated text here. We need to have the contact people that it's going to and the due date. And so when you've got those three things, you can simply send that invite out. You can also customize who's receiving some of these invite requests. So for example, this one here, we might say that both people need to return that information, or we could send that only to particular individuals. So that's super useful if you've got multiple people that you're sending a file invite to. And then we simply review it and then send it. So as you can see, it's super simple to send that request out to people. The customer experience is super simple. And then we can sit back and let FileInvite do all the chasing for you. So when it comes to chasing up files, if a customer hasn't provided all of the files by the time that they're supposed to have, FileInvite has an automated follow-up algorithm, which is actually going to start chasing them for those documents. So there's a huge amount of time saved from the people looking to get their hands on those documents by having an automated system chase up these files automatically. Once we've sent this invite out, we can actually track the progress of how quickly information is getting returned. So this is another super useful feature. So rather than having to dive down into your emails and try and work out which documents have been returned and which ones are outstanding, you can very quickly and easily see how far through returning the documents people are. This can be quite useful if you're looking to identify which potential borrowers are super keen and are really wanting to get things moving. So if someone returns all of their documents fairly promptly, you might want to bump them up the list in terms of the priority once you get back to them. If they ignore it for a week or two, they might not be as serious as they might have indicated when you initially spoke to them. We have all actions that are taken within the platform are recorded. So there's never going to be someone saying, oh no, I sent you that file, and you having to dig down and have a look in your email inbox to see if it was sent or not, because it's all recorded as to what's happened there. We also have that messaging system so we can reply to them and keep all of those conversations in the same space. And then finally, this is where all the magic happens. This is our requests area. So here we can see some of the documents have started to be returned, and there's a few things we can do. So the first thing we can do is we can actually come in and we can check and make sure that this is the right document. So we can see here that this driver's license has actually expired in 2004. So what we're going to do with that one is we're actually going to reject that document. And we can actually edit the description as to what we were looking for and let them know why we're rejecting it. And so that will send them an email. It won't say they've been rejected. It will just tell them that there's a revision is required in the portal. And so now they're not confused. You know, if that was around the 1003 form, that might be a form that you're very familiar with, but the customer might not be so familiar with it. So having the communication around the exact thing that you're looking for them to fix up is super useful and eliminates a lot of back and forth in the emails. With some of the other documents, we might come in and approve them. And then one of the other things that we're doing in here, which is super useful and can save a huge amount of time inside organizations, is you can see here this person's uploaded female passport JPEG. So this is obviously an image file, maybe something they took with their cell phone. We take every document that gets uploaded into FileInvite, and we are going to rename that document, and we're going to convert it into PDF. So now you've got all of the documents that are coming back into the organization have the same naming convention, and they're all in the same format. And so that can save a huge amount of time in terms of getting the right information to the right place as quickly as possible without a lot of manual work. And what I'll do is I'll just pop back to this is the customers portal again. So we can see here, the customer can see that some of these documents have been checked and ticked off. They can see here that there's a revision needed for this particular document here, and they can see why that is, and they can see all of the messaging that you're sending back and forward all in that one space. And then finally, once they've uploaded all of those documents, you're just going to need to get your hands on them. So there's a few ways you can do that. You can download those all as a collated zip file. You can download those all as a single PDF, or you can synchronize to a cloud storage solution. And there's a few other ways, but those are the main ways. So there we have it, the much easier process for the customer, huge time saving for yourself, and getting all of those documents out of the email inbox, which is actually a huge security risk in this day and age, especially with everyone working from home these days.
So Brendan, the Aussie on our team pointed out that you're joining us from Tuesday. What time is it there?
What time is it? It's 8:30 in the morning.
Nice. And we also noticed the HousingWire branding in the presentation. So nice customization there.
Absolutely. So yes, we customize not only the brand, but the color of the buttons just to make it feel like it's really part of your software. And we can also customize things like the URL. So it is nice to feel like it's part of your system when the customers are dealing with you.
Love it. And so what can you share ROI data from some of the clients that you've onboarded so far?
Absolutely. So one of our customers has about 2,500 users. They save around 2 hours of staff time per application. And so yeah, it depends on the number of requests you've got, and it differs by organization. But typically, we would expect to see you save around 50% of the time you're currently spending chasing up documents, renaming them, getting them into the right folder, getting them into the right systems. We'd expect you to save around 50% of the time you're currently spending.
And what's the integration process look like for a new client?
So there's a huge range of different ways people will use the tool and integrate it with their current systems. Some people will use it as a standalone tool. That's fairly common. You can get this up and running within a week if you're just looking to use it as a standalone tool. We then also have integrations with sort of cloud storage solutions like Google Drive and Dropbox. So some of those you can have up and running straight off the shelf as well. If you're looking for something a little bit more deeply integrated with our APIs, we can certainly do that. Some of those implementation times could be anywhere from sort of 12 to 18 weeks, depending on the complexity of what you're after and what you're looking to build.
And so these are important documents going back and forth. What does your safety and privacy protocol look like?
Absolutely. So yeah, there's certainly a very important part of the system, because at the moment people are saving a lot of these PII forms in email inboxes, and we wanted to take them out but make sure they're kept secure. So we have everything encrypted at rest and in transit, and we also have SOC 2 certification. So we currently hold, I think it's around 35 million pieces of personal information, and yeah, there's a lot of security features that even I'm probably not aware about that are involved in keeping them safe.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much. We're going to launch a poll, and if you're interested in hearing more from FileInvite, please select yes.